We are now just 15 days from the November midterm elections, and tonight the candidates for governor will take to the debate stage.
That debate is happening in Fort Pierce. We have team coverage of tonight's debate between Governor Ron DeSantis and challenger Charlie Crist. Angela Rozier and Terry Parker have updates from each camp ahead of tonight, but we start with our co-anchor Todd McDermott, who joins us live from the Sunrise Theater in Fort Pierce, where the candidates will be tonight. Todd?
Felicia, here we are on South 2nd Street in front of the historic Sunrise Theater for this all-important one-time debate between the candidates for governor, the incumbent Ron DeSantis, the challenger Charlie Crist. Think about it, two ex-Florida congressmen and two men who've been elected governor in the state, but one's the incumbent Ron DeSantis, and that may be the key to this debate, and of course, the election to come in just 15 days. The big question is what topics they will cover. They're pretty clear what they'll cover tonight, the issues that are most important to Floridians going into this election season, as well as in the year ahead. But with Election Day just those 15 days away, a poll released Friday shows a whopping lead for the incumbent Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. Florida Atlantic University shows the governor with an 11-point lead over the former Congressman and Governor Charlie Crist among likely voters. 5% of those polled say they are still undecided. That is very unusual for the state of Florida to see that big a disparity between candidates in a statewide election. As you know, in most of these cases, gubernatorial candidates win by a point or two at best. So the key issues. What will the key issues be that voters will want to hear about tonight? The candidates certainly know what they are. The FAU poll shows the most important issues for voters are inflation in the economy, the threat to democracy, and health care. And included in health care, of course, will be the abortion debate. We expect to hear much of that tonight. Now we continue our team coverage with Terry Parker, who's with the Crist camp tonight, and Angela Rozier covering the DeSantis campaign. Let's start with Angela.
Well, Todd, I can tell you one thing. The momentum for Governor Ron DeSantis continues to build, as you said, as his lead in the polls continues, as well as his lead in fundraising. Now, the native Floridian is the 46th governor here in the Sunshine State, and he hopes to convince those undecided voters tonight why he should be reelected. I can tell you that his Freedom First campaign is resonating among voters as he reminds them during the COVID-19 pandemic he resisted imposing restrictions such as face mask mandates, stay-at-home orders, and vaccine requirements. Now, the governor has spent the last few weeks on the West Coast offering support for Hurricane Ian victims. He also made a campaign stop in South Florida. On Sunday, he spoke at the Shoal of Bell Harbor in Surfside, which is in Miami-Dade County, where he focused on his accomplishments as governor, including the battle against anti-Semitism. Now, with the election some 2 weeks away, the governor also reminding his voters what he plans to do if he is reelected, what policies he plans to implement. One of those policies, toll costs, knocking him down 50%. Now, for more on his challenger, we go to Terry Parker. Terry.
Right, Angela, it's a big night for Charlie Crist as he takes on a very strong Republican governor that has outspent him and is leading in virtually every public opinion poll at this moment. Charlie Crist himself was Florida governor from 2007 to 2011. After he left the governor's office and ran for Congress, he became the representative of districts that are part of Orange, Lake, and Polk County. And he's done this from 2017 to 2022. Along the way, he switched his affiliation from Republican to Democrat. Crist is also a former Florida Attorney General. Crist has portrayed DeSantis as divisive and as a cultural warrior, and he's campaigned hard against that 15-week abortion ban that DeSantis signed into law in April. Out here live, we are in the Black Box. This is a small room for the media. It's right adjacent to the Sunrise Theater where the big debate will be taking place, and we will be here all night watching what's going on and bringing you any updates from the Crist campaign as this big night begins and continues. Back to you guys.
All right, Terry, Angela, thank you very much. Now, when you take a look at voter registration in the state of Florida now, it has changed dramatically over the past year or two. There are now more registered Republicans in Florida than Democrats. There are also nearly 4 million people who don't have a party affiliation. It's about 5.2 million Republican registrations, 5 million Democrat, and then that whopping 4 million who don't have party affiliations. A Pew Research Center analysis of Florida's election data shows Republicans have been closing the gap with Democrats in terms of registered voters since 2008. The number of registered Republicans in Florida surpassed the number of registered Democrats about a year ago, also coinciding with a lot of the influx of new people to Florida during the pandemic. Tonight's debate comes the same day that early voting begins in several of our local counties here in our viewing area. Polls open today in Palm Beach County, St. Lucie County, and Indian River County. Martin County starts early voting on Wednesday, 2 days from now. In Okeechobee County, early voting begins Saturday, October 29th. That is the last day. That's when all counties in the state are required to begin early voting in the state of Florida. More than 2.7 million people statewide voted early during the 2018 general election for governor, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was more this time around, since pandemic early voting and mail-in voting became so popular 2 years ago. With just 2 weeks until the midterms, that 2 weeks and 1 day, we want to make sure that you are caught up on the issues and the candidates, and we have the place you can do that. That's our website, WPBF.com. WPBF 25 News has put together an interactive voter guide for you, so you have everything you need to know if you have not yet cast a ballot or not made up your mind. Take a moment to take out your phone and scan the QR code you see on the bottom of your screen right now with the camera feature. That takes you right to WPBF 25 News app. From there, our team has put together the full list of races on the ballot and profile pieces on every candidate. We also have this information, of course, on our website, WPBF.com. I want to go back now to Shane and Felicia. It is a very big night, that one and only gubernatorial debate, and perhaps Charlie Crist's last chance to make inroads on what appears to be a very strong incumbent. Of course, we'll be here through the afternoon and evening for the debate, which begins at 7 o'clock. Shane, Felicia, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you.
We have that big night coming up in Fort Pierce.